Johnny Parlay finally met his demise last week. Womp, womp, womp.
Welcome to the STL Sea. Is everybody ready to go? Let's proclaim the greatest radio show.
Welcome, fans, to our Week 16 pick show. I am your host, Jim Sella, in studio with J Dash and Big Easy. Last week, only 2 hosts were over 500. Kind of a down week here at the spread. Although we all are winning our picks of the week now. So we're either winning our picks of the week and going under 500, or we're beast mode and losing our picks of the week.
Yeah, 47 and Easy, both 3-2 this past week. Jim, you and I went 2-3, and Johnny Parlay 1-4 this past week.
He's allowed to have one down week.
Oh yeah, it's all about how you bounce back here.
I think he ate too many cheesesteaks when he was in Philly, and it clouded his brain a little bit, and gave him almost a heart attack. Pretty sure he spent a day or two in the hospital, so I don't think he got an accurate depiction of all these games.
Yeah, he's still 50, 27, and 1 this season. He's 38 and 15 in his last 53 picks, 32 and 11 over the last 8 weeks. He's won at least 3 of his 5 picks 12 times this season. He's 84, 65, and 4 all time. So he'll bounce back here, and I think he's going to this week, to tell you the truth.
I think this was his first sub-500 week, or maybe only his second. I don't think he's had too many sub-500 weeks.
He has 12 and 15 weeks, so he did it 3 times this season. But those were mostly early in the season. I am 41, 36, and 1. Jim, you're creeping up on 500, 37, 40, and 1. Everybody else under 500 at this point.
I need to catch you, and you keep picking the same games as me, so that doesn't happen.
Well, look, you're 23 and 15 over your last 38 picks. I'm 14 and 9 over my last 23 picks. So we're picking pretty well recently as well. And Easy, you're 6 and 4 in your last 10 picks, and you won your last 4 picks of the week.
Believe it. His pick of the week, we'll get into it when we get there, but it was weird this week, the stupid line.
We're going to start off with Johnny Parlay still here. The New York Giants at Minnesota. Minnesota's -6, and the over-under is 45.5 in this game.
The Giants screwed me last week. Cost me,
screwed me too.
Some rigatoni.
Carolina was my pick of the week, and they were up 35-7. I thought I was money on that, and nope.
Believe it.
Dead wrong. But
Giants are streak stoppers. That's what Easy said to me at one point, and they almost stopped Carolina's.
Yeah.
Well, I think they're going to stop Minnesota's 1-game winning streak this week, to tell you the truth. Minnesota, they went out and blew out Chicago last week, 38-17, but they were actually 1-3 in their previous 4 games before that, and got blown out twice in that span as well. Like I said, Minnesota, they're sort of on a downtrend right now, while the New York Giants, their offense has been putting up points over the past couple weeks. 31 against the Dolphins, and then surprisingly 35 against the Panthers last week. So I think the New York Giants are definitely going to be able to keep it close enough within this 6 points. I think that line's a little bit too big. It should be Minnesota -3, in my opinion.
You're at home, so you're already getting 3, and then the Giants have just, I don't know, they've just looked atrocious at the end of games. Peterson being up in the air kind of surprises me. The line's still so big. But I don't know. Minnesota's a playoff team. The Giants most likely aren't.
Well, yeah,
I would have thought it'd probably be
the Giants aren't a good team. They're 6 and 8, obviously, but they've only lost by more than 6 points once, and that was at the Eagles weeks ago. I mean, all their losses by a couple points. 3 points at the Saints. That was that high-scoring game you remember. 1 point versus the Patriots. 6 points versus the Redskins, 3 points versus the Jets, and 3 points versus the Panthers. And then the rest were wins. So I think the Giants can keep it close in this game for sure. And we'll have to see about Adrian Peterson as well. Is he going to play in this game? Most likely. But if not, I mean, that's another advantage for New York there.
Giants suck. They're all beat up and coming off of that emotional almost win against undefeated Carolina. ODB's out.
Yes.
They're just on the road here. Conklin, he's so old. He's like a skeleton on the sidelines.
Well, like you said, yeah.
Minnesota's going to steamroll right through him. Teddy Bridgewater's starting to get into the form.
Yeah, I think he actually had 4 touchdowns last week, actually. And Stephon Diggs came up with a big week after several down weeks. But the New York Giants here, like you said, ODB, he's out for this week with a suspension. But I still like Ruben Randle out there and Dwayne Harris and Will Tye as well at tight end, and they've been running the ball well over the past couple weeks with Rashad Jennings. So the New York Giants offense is starting to get it going here, and if they can squeak into the playoffs, they're one of those teams that their defense stinks, don't get me wrong, but they're one of those teams that you might have to worry about because we've seen Eli Manning get it done in the playoffs before.
Usually when the Giants do that, they have a beast pass rush going, or at least at that point in the season. JPP only having one hand and 3 fingers on the other one's not really going to help him too much. That club really limits what you can do. You can see it with J.J. Watt down in Houston, not playing as well right now with his hand wrapped up. The Giants, I don't think they get into the playoffs, but I do think they keep this game close. I don't really see Minnesota going and blowing them out. They're not really that type of team. Teddy Bridgewater doesn't throw for a lot of yards. I know he had the good week last week, but before that, I think he had the least amount of touchdowns thrown for any starting quarterback who's played as many snaps as he has throughout the season. So I think the Giants keep this game close. I think they cover the line, but I think Minnesota still squeaks out maybe a 3-point victory. They're trying to win that division still, although I think Green Bay is going to lock it up.
Yeah, 47 and easy. You two are saying Minnesota. Jim, me, and Johnny Parlay going with the New York Giants.
They screwed me last week. I'll take them this week.
All right, let's get into 47's pick of the week here. He's 8-6 on the season in picks of the week now, and he's won his last 2 picks of the week.
And he actually made one this week. And we're not going to get into what he did after that.
I do not like this game at all that he picked. San Francisco at Detroit. Detroit is -9, and the over-under is 43 in this game.
I was actually thinking of taking San Francisco as my pick of the week here. Detroit -9? You gotta be kidding me. Who gets 9 points to a team that's as bad as the Lions are right now? And I know San Francisco isn't great, but come on, man. They're both garbage. This line should be around like 3, maybe 4.
I mean, the real reason it's 9 is because San Francisco is just complete pathetic garbage, to tell you the truth. I mean, this team has been probably the worst team in football this season. I still like to believe Philadelphia is worse.
I think the Browns have been worse than San Francisco.
I don't know, man. San Francisco, they just get blown out a lot. But Detroit, I mean, how many times have they blown out someone? Once, they blew out the Eagles 45-14, and that was Thanksgiving, I believe it was, correct?
Yeah.
So that's it. Last week, they did have an 8-point win at New Orleans, but that was their second biggest win on the season, and they haven't even come close to anything since.
Detroit's just not as good as what people thought they were going to be this year.
Yeah, I just can't take Detroit at -9, to tell you the truth.
Good old Jim Bob Cooter, he's got it going out there. The line's so high is because Matthew Stafford and Abdullah's on fire. San Francisco's not going to be able to stop him. Stafford's just still setting franchise records, passing, lighting it up. Calvin Johnson's still out there. Who else plays for them? Golden Tate catching the ball. Ebron. This is going to be a big breakout game.
I mean,
they're going to win
when
by
you
30,
say their names, man,
points.
it sounds like a good team.
They're going to win by 30 points.
I'm not going to lie,
dude.
their defense has been playing a lot better recently. I know they let up something like 27 points last week against the Saints or whatever, but they were one of the top defenses over the past 4 weeks leading up to that game. So you're right. Detroit has the offense by names, and they've been playing well defensively, but they just seem to never get it done, man. It's the Detroit Lions.
They've only been a favorite 3 times this year. They're 1-2 against the spread as a favorite. They haven't been favored by 7.5 to 10 points at all during the year because they're such garbage. They've only been favored by that many 3 times in the last 3 years. Just because this team just really isn't blowing teams out. This offense, it's playing better now, Easy. You're definitely right. Jim Bob Cooter, he does have it going better. But I just can't see them beating anybody by 9 points right now. I just don't see it. I know they're at home and San Francisco has to travel. I know Gabbert's not that great. San Francisco just, I don't know. I just think they're going to keep it close. 9? Ugh.
So, Jim, you and me are saying San Francisco.
Yeah.
Easy, you're saying Detroit, correct?
All day.
And JK47 is going to go with you. Johnny Parlay is saying San Francisco in this game.
Believe
the
it.
Big lines, he's never going to go with that big line.
Last week he took all the home teams. This week he took all but one road team.
All right, let's move on here to Easy's pick of the week. Like I said before, he won his last 4 picks of the week. He's going with this odd game you were talking about here, Jim.
Yeah, the Indy-Miami game, we couldn't find a line on this game anywhere. Not anywhere on Vegas Insider, not on any of the popular sports betting sites. I asked Siri on my iPhone. She couldn't find it. So we kind of just set the line at Miami -1 right now. And
we'll update it.
Yeah, this is based on Hasselbeck being banged up. We know Luck's out. If Charlie Whitehurst starts for Indy, I just don't see how Indy could end up as a favorite on the road. I know Miami's not good, but usually the home team gets 3 points regardless. These two teams are pretty even if you ask me. And with Charlie Whitehurst starting for Indy, you got to give the edge to Miami. So that's why we set the line at -1 and the over-under at 47.
That's right. Local bookmakers here.
That's right.
We can do whatever we want with the line. The Colts were in the AFC Championship game last year. I know they're spanked and they're beat down right now, but Miami's got nothing to play for, and the Colts do.
You're right.
So you can make even if the line was, I mean, if it's +3.5 Miami, then we're getting sketchy. But when I looked at it, I didn't see no line either, and I said, "Oh, straight up." So I went with the Colts. They're not going to lose.
Well, look, the Colts in their last 2 road games at the Steelers and at the Jaguars, they got outscored 96-26.
If Hasselbeck was healthy, I would give the edge to Indy right now, even with Hasselbeck. I know Luck's not playing for sure, but Charlie Whitehurst, easy, you got faith in Charlie Whitehurst?
Charlie Whitehurst.
He has a man bun, dude.
That dude has been. He knows
I don't think he's ever
he
won
knows
a
that
start.
He knows that playbook like Roethlisberger knows.
Oh, you gotta be
our
kidding me.
playbook.
He knows hair gel
He's
like
been there the whole time. Dude.
Prince
He's the
does. He played in
backup.
San Diego and Seattle before he played in
He
Indianapolis.
can easily come in and beat Miami because Miami is pure adulterated garbage.
I mean, you're right with that. They're 2-6 in their last 8 games, and their 2 wins are by a combined 3 points. So they're just a terrible team. Those wins were versus the Ravens and versus the Eagles as well. And really, the teams they got beat by, not much better outside of the Patriots. They got beat by the Bills, the Cowboys, the Jets, the Giants, and the Chargers in that spin.
There's a reason they fired their coach. Team's in disarray.
So, I mean, it was hard for me to pick anything in this game. This is a garbage game right here. In fact, the San Francisco-Detroit game we just talked about is a garbage game, too. We got some garbage games going on here, but it's not about the games. It's about the money. Make that money.
That's right.
I just taken Tannehill. I'm taking Miami because I'm taking Tannehill over Charlie Whitehurst, especially with Tannehill at home.
47.
With all the weapons. You got Lamar Miller. You got Jarvis Landry. Is Rashard Matthews playing?
No, he's not, but
No.
Remember, I was saying Devontae Parker has stepped up big over the past month.
And Indy's offense just doesn't scare me. I think this could be a game where Miami gets a couple turnovers on defense. Screw you, Indy.
Yeah, Indy's been just so horrible on the road. Like I said, 90-something to 626 over the past 2 road games.
Nothing.
I'm going to go with Miami as well. And in fact, again, Johnny Parlay's going to go with us and say Miami. And 47 with you, Easy, with Indianapolis.
That's it.
Did we disagree with Parlay at all this week, Dash?
Not yet.
Good
They've
Lord.
all been the same so
Oh,
far.
Lordy.
JK47 and Easy both have different picks than us so far on each game. But this game a little different here. We're going to go with your pick of the week next, Jim. You're actually 6-8-1 now in picks of the week, 16-17-1 all time. You've won your last 3 picks of the week.
Beast mode.
Going with St. Louis at Seattle. Seattle's -13 and the over-under is 40.5 in this game.
If St. Louis' quarterback situation wasn't complete garbage right now, and the fact that their defense isn't playing nearly as well as it could have or should have this season, they have no wide receivers. I mean, it really just looks a horrible situation out there in St. Louis. They got to come halfway across the country, at least up to Seattle. Seattle's blowing people out. Russell Wilson's like the first quarterback to have 3 touchdown passes and no picks in 5 straight games or something like that. And Seattle, they're just going to roll St. Louis. It's going to be like 40-10. No chance, St. Louis. Sorry, St. Louis fans. You're losing your team and you're losing this game.
I told you before I needed a minute to think about this game because actually St. Louis over the past 2 weeks, they started to turn it around a little bit. They were on a 5-game losing streak and they went out and won their past 2 games versus the Lions, who they beat them 21-14 and then they beat the Buccaneers as well 31-23. But then I just look at the Seattle Seahawks, man, and what they've been doing recently. I mean, it's ridiculous. They're on a 5-game winning streak. They put up at least 29 points in each of those games and held teams to 13 points or less in 4 or 5 of those games. The only team they didn't do it against was the Pittsburgh Steelers, one of the better offenses in football. So their defense is on a roll right now, and their offense is on a roll right now. Seattle is one of the Super Bowl favorites in my mind, and I think they're going to go out there and dominate, like you said, Jim.
Yeah, I really just don't see St. Louis keeping up at all. They're going to lose fast.
What do you think, Easy? Same thing this time.
Yeah. It's Seattle's on a roll. I mean, it's not hard.
Well, Johnny Parlay's going the other way with it. He don't like that -13. He's saying St. Louis.
Oh, that's because he's a Ram for life.
He's going spread solo with that as well. It's 47 is saying Seattle.
I mean, they've kept it close. I'm pretty sure the last couple times they've played up there. I don't think it's finished, around 13 or whatever. I just think Seattle's on such a roll. They're the hottest team in the league right now besides Pittsburgh.
Last one, my pick of the week. I am doing terrible this season. 5-10 in picks of the week. That's why we put you last.
Nobody wants to listen this long.
Exactly. I was 9-2 last season. 5-10 this season in picks of the week.
How the mighty have fallen. That's what you get for ripping on me all the time. Oh, you have 80 losses. Screw you.
Well, that's because you're always talking yourself up.
Because you rip on me, so somebody else.
No, it's the other way around.
Somebody's got to say something good about me. Nobody else does.
I think it's the other way around.
I give you compliments. You never compliment me.
No, I compliment you.
All you do is hate. In your head, maybe. I don't think I might have heard 2 compliments out of you in the last 10 years.
The best compliment you ever gave me was you said I should be president the other day. That was ridiculous.
I told you I liked your rap music.
All right. I'm going to go with the New England game. They're -3 at the New York Jets, and the over-under is 46 in this game. I know the New York Jets gave them a little bit of trouble earlier in the season.
Joke line, says Johnny Parlay.
Is he saying it again?
Joke line.
Well, look, New England at home versus the Jets, they beat them by 7 points, and the Jets actually had them in that game for a moment. New England came back and won that game. So the Jets give them a little bit of problems, but still, I mean, I got to go with New England with it. I've said it a couple weeks now. They're giving New England some small lines here, and I'm just going to go with them as long as they do.
I don't think New England's going to lose. I'm not one of those people that are like, oh, this is going to be a trap game for New England. Blah. I don't think there is a trap game for New England. They know how to play football. They keep their heads in the game. They don't look further ahead than the week that they have in front of them. I think New England goes in there. They might struggle a little bit early in the game. Their offense isn't what it normally is. They need to get Edelman back to try to help them out a little bit. Is Ramondola going to play in this game? Do you know?
It's not looking so good right now, but he still has a chance to.
Okay, so then they would have, LaFell, Gronk, and Steve Urkel's brother or cousin.
Well, Keyshawn Martin's out there as well.
They also just signed Steven Jackson. Did you see that?
Yeah, I did see that.
The running back, is he going to be their key to victory?
I highly doubt it, man. I wouldn't put any trust in Steven Jackson, to tell you the truth.
What if he rushed for 200 yards?
I mean, anything's possible with New England. You never know what they're going to do with their running backs, but the one I trust the most is Steve Urkel.
Gotta love him. What about Ryan Fitzpatrick? Is he smart enough to outduel Tom Brady? No?
Well, he's a smart guy, and they pass a ton, definitely. So I believe they're going to be passing in this game, and they're actually on a 4-game winning streak right now. At the beginning of the season, I think they started out 4-1, and we were high on them. We were saying they were a pretty good team, and then they went on not necessarily a losing streak, just a pretty long streak of playing less than mediocre football.
Fitzpatrick was hurt a little bit then, too.
Yeah, and now they're on a 4-game winning streak right now. Their offense looks pretty good with Fitzpatrick running the helm, Brandon Marshall out there, Blau Pow, obviously. But like I was saying before, New England, their offense, you said it's not what it has been, but they still put up at least 27 points in 3 straight games. And over the past 2 games, their defense let up 6 points and 16 points. So they're playing pretty well right now. I know they had that 2-game stretch where they lost to the Broncos and then the Eagles, who are a terrible team. But I think they figured it out now, and they're back on a roll.
Easy. Any chance the Jets beat New England? Revis Island's going to reign supreme in New York.
Yeah, there's a chance that they could beat New England if New England has the worst game they played all year long.
No, I think that was Eagles, man.
Oh, they could, and so they're capable of doing it again.
Oh yeah, definitely.
So yeah, there's definitely a chance, but I pick New England because I don't want the Jets to win, and that's as simple as that.
Yeah, we're going spread sweep on this one.
Emotional pick here. The Jets, I don't know. I just don't think they got it, and I'm with Easy. I want them to lose. Steeler fan here. Yay.
Yeah, but it's hard to say you want New England to win too, isn't it?
Yeah, but they're already placed ahead of us. The Jets were battling, so not necessarily do I want New England to win. I just want the Jets to lose.
All right, so spread sweep on New England. Again, Johnny Parlay's picks. The New York Giants, San Francisco, Miami, St. Louis, and New England. Spread picks of the week. The New York Giants, Detroit, Indy, Seattle, and New England. And then the spread majority is the Giants, San Francisco, Miami, Seattle, and New England.
I hope all these picks help everyone have a Merry Christmas. None of us picked the Christmas Eve game, did we?
No, man, that's San Diego and Oakland.
Christmas Eve football.
Well,
Dash, what did you get
gave
me
us
for Christmas?
no Christmas names this entire fantasy season. Nothing.
It's because everyone stole your bid.
I know.
Anyway.
People were calling Jimmy Santa Claus on CBS last week or whatever it was. They're stealing our material. We need to get this stuff copyrighted.
Stole that bit.
So no more Christmas names until
the
get
Christmas
copyrights.
names were really in the fantasy segments last year, and we do our fantasy segments differently this year. So
you got to come up with those names, man. Less names to do
I
with.
mean,
but
when you have Eric Decker the Halls with Bells of Holly, I mean that's pretty easy.
He's not a situational starter. You got to play
Exactly.
that guy.
What do you want me to do with Willie Snead? I mean, Willie, I got some hair gel for Christmas. I don't know. I got nothing.
Come on, you got to have something, man. Give us one.
What about Cal Rudolph the Red-Nosed Reindeer?
Yeah.
He was an old school classic.
He was an old... Wrap it up, man.
All right, fans, you got any better Christmas nicknames for us? Hit us up on Twitter at bet_the_spread. Hit me up on Twitter at betjimtowin. Check out the Facebook page at facebook.com/betthespread. Keep coming back to YouTube and clicking subscribe. I want to say thank you to the last 10 subscribers. I don't remember all your names, but we blew up last week. Mad subscribers. Thank you to all of our subscribers, and Merry Christmas to all.
The 11th one, screw you.
And to all, good night. I think I'm going to read The Night Before Christmas, and then we're going to post that on our webpage, too.